Hi everyone, #1 Kiss fanboy Finny, specifically Gene Simmons Tano here, the internet's drunkest music nerd, and today we are going to talk about Kiss and specifically how, if left up to their own devices, they will outlive everyone on this planet. Like the nukes could drop tomorrow, and if it were up to Kiss would somehow still be playing and still be touring as avatars, as CGI VR characters in the apocalyptic wasteland. How exciting! You'll be able to watch the cartoon Disney Pixar Kiss concert film VR event from the comfort of your dilapidated fallout shelter, bundled up in your nicest hazmat suit. So for those of you who somehow don't know what I'm talking about, Kiss is an American hard rock heavy metal band known for making a lot of money, selling a lot of merch. They have their own line of coffins, their own line of toilet paper, they have board games, they have animated crossover films with Scooby-Doo, and also, occasionally, they do make music. And they've probably amassed one of the biggest and most dedicated followings in all of rock and metal music. Like, these guys literally call themselves the Kiss Army. That's crazy to me. There's no Iron Maiden militia. There's no Pantera platoon. But there is a Kiss Army. And now, after nearly 50 years of rockin' and rolling all night and partying every day, it appears as though Kiss have finally called it quits for realsies this time. Except also they kind of haven't, because at their final concert at Madison Square Garden earlier this month, they debuted a new avatar version of Kiss. Essentially a virtual version of Kiss that brings the personas to life and will apparently depict them as like superheroes battling monsters as if they're like the fucking Avengers or some shit. They're kind of like Gorillaz now, except worse, and at least when you pay to go see Gorillaz, you're gonna get like a real band on stage interacting with the Gorillaz characters, whereas with the Kiss Avatar shows, I assume, it is safe to assume, that you're just gonna get essentially a Fortnite-style VR concert, except you're gonna pay, like, an absurd amount of cash for it. All jokes aside, I did not believe for even a moment that Kiss were actually serious about actually retiring. The fact is, they've been on their current final tour for close to 5 or 6 years now. They've been on several other final tours over the course of the past 20 years. I mean, for God's sakes, while they've been out there on the road for this final tour, they've talked about how, like, oh, well, maybe we'll come back for festivals or charity concerts or something like that, you know? Like little special one-off events and stuff. They've even kind of floated the idea of, like, hiring, like, a new, younger group of people to kind of take over the characters of, like, the Demon and the Star Child and all that, and then they would essentially become Kiss, and then I guess Kiss could continue for, like, another 50 years or so. So yeah, the idea of Kiss continuing beyond 2023 is not a ridiculous or surprising concept to me. What is a little ridiculous and surprising to me, though, is Kiss continuing as a CGI 3D virtual Avatar band. As Variety writes, created by Industrial Light and Magic in partnership with Pop House Entertainment Group, the Swedish tech company behind ABBA's Voyage Avatar show in London. This will make Kiss the first US-born band to go fully virtual and stage its own Avatar show. And you can get a look at this new CG version of Kiss here, and I mean, if you ask me, that just looks fucking ridiculous. That looks like a fucking, like, pre-rendered cutscene from a video game from the late 2000s. That looks like something out of a mobile game. Like, that looks so fucking silly to me. And Kiss is betting big on this, folks. They're investing a lot of money into this. As Blabbermouth.net writes in a more recent article, while signing the very last bass guitar he ever played on stage with Kiss for one fan, Gene asked, "How did those avatars look when you first saw them? They're gonna get better, that animated stuff." Gene continued, "There's so much being planned, even beyond my comprehension, but they're spending, about $200 million to take it to the next level." I gotta say this right off the bat. $200 million is an absolutely insane amount of money to invest into a fucking virtual fucking CGI avatar band. Like, for reference, $200 million is what it costs to make, like, a massive blockbuster film nowadays. Like, Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania, budget $200 million. Elemental, budget $200 million. Killers of the Flower Moon, budget $200 million. Transformers Rise of the Beast, budget $195 to $200 million. Wish, $200 million. Napoleon, $200 million. Aquaman, $205 million. These are all movies that released this year, and they cost the same as fucking Kiss's Avatar VR band. And are you ready to hear something really fucking crazy, folks? The same amount of money that Kiss is investing to turn themselves into a virtual band is the same amount of money that the United States is giving in aid to Ukraine. As the Secretary of State Anthony J. Blinken writes in a press statement, this package provides up to $200 million of arms and equipment under previously directed drawdowns for Ukraine. Capabilities provided in today's package include air defense munitions, air defense system components, additional munitions for high mobility artillery rocket systems. Now, the idea of like a holographic performer, a VR band, whatever you want to call it, not really a brand new thing. The Conversation did a really good article about this kind of whole thing, all holograms and AI and virtual bands, and I'm actually just going to read directly from their article because I think it's that good. Writing, since a holographic Tupac Shakur headlined at Coachella in 2012, there have been similar tributes to Frank Zappa and Roy Orbison. Posthumous tours have also been staged or proposed for Whitney Houston, Amy Winehouse, Ronnie James Dio, but it's the holographic performance by a still-living act that stands as the landmark case. ABBA, the Swedish pop sensation that ruled the charts during the 1970s and 1980s, launched their ABBA Voyage virtual reunion tour in 2021, describing the holographic versions of themselves as avatars. Our recent study of the tour found a mixture of fan reactions, from some who found it emotionally satisfying to others who questioned its authenticity. The results suggest we need to know more about the enormous cultural implications of these holographic experiences. This fucking image of the Tupac hologram is so fucking funny to me because Kiss is investing $200 million in turning themselves into a VR band, and I mean, this looks identical to this. Identical. I know that work is still being done. I understand that. But also, look at this! These images are 10 years apart, and they look the fucking same to me. Like, the only fucking discernible difference is this looks like a screenshot from Grand Theft Auto 4, and this looks like a screenshot from Brutal Legend. That's it. And the crazy thing is, they haven't even really figured out what they really want to do with this VR band. Like, Gene Simmons talks about, like, oh, there's so many ideas beyond my comprehension. But then, Pop House CEO Per Sundin said, we're going to figure it out after the tour. Is it a Kiss concert in the future? Is it a rock opera? Is it a musical? A story, an adventure? These four individuals already have superpowers. We want to be as open as possible. I don't know, motherfucker. I think if I was investing $200 million into something, I would want to have, like, an idea as to what that something is going to fucking be. Like, if I walk into fucking Microsoft or Sony or Warner Brothers or whoever the fuck tomorrow and I say, I need you to give me $200 million for this big project, and I don't tell them what that big project is, I don't think they're gonna give me the money. I don't think they're gonna fucking do it. Like, if I walk into Nintendo HQ tomorrow and I go, I need $200 million for my next big project, the first thing they're gonna say is, what project? And I need to have an answer. That's the bottom line. I can't sit there and go, oh, well, maybe it's a rock opera. Maybe it's a musical, a story, an adventure. It's a good thing I've already drawn up these 4 CGI characters. You can just insert these 4 characters anyway. Make a brand new video game with them. Fuck, throw them into a fucking Smash Brothers or Metroid or some shit. Put them up there on the big screen with fucking Chris Pratt Mario and shit. Like, am I going crazy here? Am I the only one seeing and hearing how fucking stupid all of this sounds? $200 million? That's money that could go to, like, helping homeless people, delivering clean water and food and medicine to people. And Kiss is going to use it to turn themselves into a fucking VR band, and I assume they'll go on tour, and I assume that tour is going to cost the same as a normal Kiss tour. Just to give you a bit more perspective, if I want to see Travis Scott live in concert, he's coming through next week, Friday, December 29th, Scotiabank Arena, here in Toronto. If I want to go to that fucking show on December 29th, if I want to go in the fucking this section, if I want this seat right here, it costs $380.75. Or maybe I want floor tickets, and that costs $373.75. Really? Floor tickets are cheaper? That's weird. I mean, not by much, but, like, still. That's kind of weird. Now, look, I'm not here to tell you what to do with your money. But I will point out, if I'm essentially paying to see a fucking hologram, a fucking VR CGI character, look at Fortnite. Travis Scott did a free virtual concert in Fortnite, and it was a fucking big hit. Ariana Grande has also done a virtual concert in Fortnite. So has Eminem. Hey, look at that, folks. EDM producer and performer deadmau5 hosted a massive virtual concert. Joel Zimmerman, better known as deadmau5, has been teasing his Oberhasli project for about a year now. The collaboration with Manticore Games aims to be a virtual reality mainstay for performing artists, an ambition he feels other in-game concerts have largely failed to achieve. You had Metallica essentially doing like a virtual concert listening party for 72 seasons earlier this year in fucking Roblox. And all of that was free. You didn't have to pay for that. It was just something these artists did because they thought it was really cool. And now Kiss are investing $200 million into turning themselves into a full-time VR band, and I highly doubt going to a VR Kiss show is going to be free. I would hope it's at the very least not as expensive as going to an actual Kiss concert, but like, if they're promising that it's going to be this massive, and if they're investing this much into it, then guess what? They're gonna expect to get some money back. Like, remember earlier in the video when we were talking about all these movies that cost $200 million? Well, guess what? Not a lot of those movies were hits. And as a result, Disney, Marvel, Warner Brothers, Paramount, they're all kind of freaking the fuck out trying to figure out what do we do? So of course Kiss is going to want to make all that money back, and of course these fucking VR shows or this fucking whatever the fuck that this turns into, of course it's going to be so fucking expensive. This shows me not only that Kiss will never, ever, ever retire, it also shows me that Kiss will do everything in their ability and power to suck every single dollar from your fucking wallet. And all the while, Paul and Gene are going to swim in pools of money and continue to shell ungodly tacky merch. Gene Simmons is going to keep insisting that rock is dead and continue to say all kinds of other batshit fucking crazy stuff that even the doofuses over at Fox News can't fucking handle. Remember this? Gene Simmons banned for life from Fox News over his behavior. Like it took an avalanche of legal scandals and lawsuits and controversies for Fox News to sack Tucker Carlson. But with Gene Simmons, they just said, fuck it. We don't like you. You're fucking weird, man. Get out. Like, sure, Gene, please tell me all about how rock is dead whilst you fucking sell the ever-living fuck out, whilst you go on yet another retirement tour, whilst you turn yourself into a fucking, like, CG 3D fucking VR band, whilst you do absolutely nothing to help and promote and support modern rock music. This whole thing just feels gross, too, because I feel like rock really tries to pride itself on being really authentic and being real. Like, when you go see Bruce Springsteen or Paul McCartney or whomever, you're not gonna see, like, a bunch of fucking, like, DJs and laptops and shit, you know? Like, you're gonna see a band. And you're gonna see a band play their fucking guts out with guitars and keyboards and drums. And sure, maybe there's some pyrotechnics. Sure, maybe there's some stunts and gimmicks and whatever the fuck. There's spectacle. But at the core, there's a fucking band. Like, again, even if you go see Gorillaz, you're still gonna see a real band actually playing this fucking music. But, I mean, with this, you're gonna get a bunch of cartoon characters on a big screen. You're gonna sit in a big fucking stadium. You probably paid an arm and a leg to fucking be there. And it's just so fucking goofy and so fucking stupid. And it's a colossal waste of fucking time and money. It's just so fucking tacky and disingenuous to me. And with the amount of shit happening in the world right now, I find it hard to believe that this is something that $200 million needs to be put into. If Gene Simmons ever again argues that rock is dead while putting $200 million into what, in theory, should just be on Fortnite for free, like, fuck off. Fuck off. Fuck off. Shut the fuck up. For realsies. Unbelievable. And that's it for me, I think. This is definitely a much more ranty video than I'm used to making at this point, but, like, this thing is just so fucking bizarre and so fucking stupid, and there were people kind of asking me about this, especially during the 15K live stream, so I said, fuck it, I'm gonna put my 2 cents on it. If you're like a die-hard Kiss fan and I somehow haven't infuriated you with today's video, I hope you subscribe and hang out and watch more stuff. If not, no harm done. All the top 10 content is up. It's all up. Go check that out as well. Stay tuned for some info on our upcoming Christmas party and live stream with special guest Canadian filmmaker Moose the Goose. Join us on Discord, merch on Redbubble, all that fun stuff. And as always, you have yourself a fantastic fucking day.